Hey, welcome back to our channel. Today we are diving into the juicy world of Am I the A-hole Reddit posts. Let's explore some crazy posts and decide who's in the right and who is in fact an a-hole. Grab a snack and let's get started. Okay, our first post today is from Autistic Monkey. Am I the a-hole for excluding my mother-in-law from my wedding? Ooh, juicy. Okay. Me, 28 female, and my husband, 29 male, have recently gotten married last week. Prior to the wedding, my now mother-in-law has been making mean remarks about how my husband and I should not be getting married. Oh God, why do all mother-in-laws seem to just have to stick their nose in where it doesn't belong, you know? First, it started off small, like her saying, "Why are you guys getting married? My baby boy can find so much better." And has even gone so far by spamming my husband's phone saying to call off the wedding and how he can find a better wife than me. She has always had a problem with me and will always find a way to shame me and put me down. She refuses to believe that her son is my child's baby daddy and has went as far as saying to my 5-year-old son that he's not the father. Wow. That's disgusting. Like, if you have a problem with your son's partner, that's one thing, but don't get the child involved. That's so, 5-year-old. You're going to tell a 5-year-old that their dad isn't their dad without any proof. This woman sounds like an absolute nightmare. Like, what a horrible what kind of disgusting human being would actually do that? Like, already I'm going to say you're not the a-hole. I don't even know what you did technically, but so far the mother-in-law's behaviour is so bad that you're probably not the a-hole. But yeah, let's find out what actually happened. That's impossible because me and my husband are high school sweethearts and I haven't done anything with anyone else since me and him were together. About 5 days before the wedding, she decided it would be a good idea to tell my son that mummy doesn't like daddy anymore. I knew this because he went running crying to his dad saying how I don't love him anymore. Wow. This woman sounds like a complete expletive, you know? Me and my husband talked and decided to not invite her to the wedding, and she was livid and started calling me slurs and how I'm taking away her baby boy from her and how he can find so much better than an beep like me. I feel sorry for your husband having a mother that's this obsessive about him. It's actually kind of gross. Like, I don't blame you at all for telling her she can't come to the wedding. In fact, it would be weird for you to allow her at the wedding given how disgusting her behaviour is. The fact that she's getting your 5-year-old son involved is just so awful. Like, it's bad enough that she's being this awful to you, but to get your 5-year-old son involved is just next level scumbag. Like, ugh. The day before the wedding, she started spamming my husband, saying that he could just call off the wedding and I'm only using him for his money, which doesn't make sense because I make a better income than him. She even went as far as still showing up to the wedding, demanding to be allowed into the venue. She had to be escorted from the place. Last night, me and my husband were talking about how I want to be no contact with his mother, and he said that now I'm taking it too far and that she's still his mother after all. So, am I the a-hole? No, you are not the a-hole. Maybe you disagree with me. If you do, let me know in the comments, please. But no, I can understand that your husband might not want to go no contact with his mother, because it does sound like she loves him, maybe a bit too much. Going non-contact for your husband is quite extreme. However, for you to go non-contact seems completely valid, and for you to have no contact between your mother-in-law and your son would also be quite valid, given how despicable she's been behaving with your 5-year-old. I can't believe that she's done all that to a 5-year-old child. It's really, that will traumatise you for the rest of your life. People think that you don't remember these things that happen when you're so young, but it's actually the complete opposite. If things happen when you're so young, that actually becomes part of the build-up of your brain because you're still developing your neurons and stuff. I don't know. Like, she's a disgusting human being, I'm not going to lie. But anyway, let's see what the other Redditors had to say. So, OddEnd1405 said, not the a-hole for excluding her from your wedding. Exactly, not the a-hole at all. Even though she has done everything a horrible mother-in-law can do to you and to your child, she is still your husband's mother. Yeah. So, basically agreeing with me here. He has consistently stood up for you, still got married, so you really don't have a strong position in attempting to force him to go no contact. Yeah, so it sounds like your husband is actually a really good person because he has put your needs first in this situation, and he has seen the impact that his mother is having, and he has stood up for you. He's not folded like a deck of cards like half of these other grooms seem to, that we hear about in these stories. He's actually put his foot down and said no to his mother going to the wedding, which is really good. But I can understand why he wouldn't want to go full no contact with his mother. I would definitely draw the line in the sand about not allowing her in your house or near the kid. Yeah. Yes, he is her grandchild, but she has proven herself to be willing to hurt him to go after you. Your husband should understand this. Remind him of his 5-year-old running to him in tears because of what Grandma said. Congratulations on your marriage. Hopefully hubby will make his visits to Mum's house few and far between. Yeah, I mean, I fully agree. I think that Grandma should be no contact with the child because she's already been nothing but a horrible grandparent for him. I think that it's perfectly valid for you to be no contact and for you to refuse to let her in the house that you live in is also completely valid, but I think that you should still allow your partner to visit her if he really wants to, because at the end of the day it is his mother. But yeah, fully agree. Couldn't have said it better, Odd End. Well done. Okay, May Silver 909 said, not the a-hole, I get the whole thing. I also would include her staying away from my child. I also understand your husband's point of view. Talk to your husband about him having an open and honest conversation with his mother. The conversation should include consequences on mother if she doesn't stay within set boundaries. And your husband is going to have to be the one to hold his mother accountable. I think that's a really good idea, actually. He needs to sit down, have a conversation, really explain explicitly how much her behaviour has had a negative impact on all of you, especially the 5-year-old child, her grandchild. And I think that very strict boundaries need to be set, and if she has a problem with that, then you cut her out, because at the end of the day, your family is the most important thing, and she clearly doesn't care about you or your child, so your husband cannot prioritise her over you at this stage. But guys, let me know what you think about this one. Maybe you disagree with me. Maybe you would have handled it differently. I would love to talk to you about it in the comments. Okay, our next post is, am I the a-hole for refusing to listen to mother-in-law's speech on my wedding? I hate speeches. I never understood the appeal. I think they are boring, exhausting, and very, very forced. But having said that, this is just my opinion, and I never forced it on anyone. I have sat through long, excruciating speeches without complaining like any other decent human being. When it was my turn to get married, however, I requested no speeches. We wrote that we loved everyone and that we knew they loved us, so if you want to say anything, say it to us directly in private. Okay, I mean, that's fair enough. It's your wedding day at the end of the day, so if you don't want speeches, then, you know, that's not a problem. Your day, your rules. I will agree that wedding speeches sometimes can be incredibly dull. I went to one wedding and the wedding speeches seemed to go on for over an hour, and I was just struggling to not fall asleep, to be honest, but... my husband thought it was funny, but he knew my feelings about speeches. We had a small wedding with only loved ones, a weekend long wedding? Wow. I'm assuming the actual wedding was just one day, but... My husband loves games, so the wedding planner did a really great Taskmaster type of game, and everyone appreciated it. Well, that sounds like a really fun wedding, actually. I like that. Dinner came and my mother-in-law stood up and started by saying, I know we are forbidden to make speeches by the bride, but this is my only son getting married, so I will say what I want to. I didn't hear the rest because I was seeing red. My sisters and bridesmaids were shocked. I pretended like she wasn't talking and continued my conversation with my girls. They did the same. Okay, so, I mean, I can understand why you'd be upset that she didn't listen to your request about not having speeches. And, you know, that was pretty rude of her, especially that she kind of made fun of you for it at the beginning of her speech. But to carry on talking to your bridesmaids while your mother-in-law was stood up in front of the entire room doing a speech is kind of rude. I know she was rude, but like, it's not a good look. It makes you look bad, even though she did break the rules. It really does make you look quite bad, I'm not gonna lie. Mother-in-law was furious, both sister-in-laws were furious, and my husband was very angry that it showed in his profile. He refused to look at me. The rest of the night was awkward, my husband's side sulking in their seats. I wanted to make sure it wasn't ruined for the rest of us, and we ended up having a blast. Next day, I spent it with my family and friends. I mean, it seems like you really upset your husband, for one, which isn't really very fair because it's his wedding as well, and it's his mother. To upset him, his mother, his entire side of the family is really quite rude. It's unfair. It's unfair. You're not the only one at this wedding at the end of the day, and if your husband enjoyed the speech and wanted the speech, then you should have respected that. My husband said that I was very wrong in what I did. I couldn't force mother-in-law to stop talking, and he knew she wouldn't no matter how much we told her. I shouldn't have disrespected and humiliated her like this. Our marriage started on the wrong foot, it seems. Am I the a-hole? P.S. Mother-in-law loves making speeches, sometimes 15-minute long and not unusually mean speeches. But was this a mean speech? You didn't actually give her a chance. You just made an assumption about what she would or wouldn't say and didn't give her a chance to actually say it. And I mean, I think what you did was actually really mean. So to judge her for her usually mean speeches, I mean, right now I'm thinking you are the a-hole. Sorry, OP, but it was really rude and really humiliating for your mother-in-law. And at the end of the day, even if she made you angry by not listening to your request, that should have been dealt with in a more private way. Like, you should have talked to her about that afterwards, not humiliated her in front of everybody on the day, because that's your family now. You've just got married. And obviously you really upset your husband as well. It's his wedding day. You shouldn't be trying to upset him. I think some brides seem to think that their wedding day is absolutely 100% only about them and their needs and their wants and their likes. At the end of the day, you're getting married to somebody else. It's about their wants and their needs as well, not just you. If you can't allow something so small for the sake of your husband and just grin and bear it, then I kind of feel sorry for your husband going forwards, because it sounds like you're the kind of person that's not going to allow him to have any say in your future relationship. But maybe I'm wrong. Let's see what the Redditors had to say. Okay, Bullwinkle's progeny said, not the a-hole. Okay, your husband has no backbone, and worse, he didn't back you up. You have every right to have your wishes respected. Then your mother-in-law had the audacity to call you out. You're going to have a heck of a time setting boundaries with that one. Good luck. Okay, so I mean, as you could tell, Reddit has classed this OP as not the a-hole, but I don't actually agree on this one, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I mean, I can understand why you were upset. Like this person's just said, your mother-in-law called you out on your wedding, she didn't stick to boundaries, that upset you. However, you reacted in a really childish way. I think maybe in this case, you and your mother are both, no, you and your mother-in-law are both the a-holes. Like, everybody's a bit of an a-hole in this one, actually, but also I think it's unfair to say that it's the husband's fault for having no backbone, because at the end of the day, it's the middle of your wedding reception, everybody's in the room. It would be more awkward to actually do what you did and cause a fuss than just go, oh, well, we're going to have a speech, it is what it is, get on with it, who cares, you know? That's the normal response. Who cares? It's just one speech. Just ignore it, listen to it, move on. But by doing that, you caused a huge scene and everybody's going to think you look a fool. So, I don't know. Anyway, OP replied to that post by saying not only did he not back me up, but he's being very cold with me since it happened 3 weeks ago. Yeah, I mean, you've upset your husband. What do you expect? Anyway, Accomplished Rouse 695 said, everyone sucks here. Yeah, I can agree with that. You for being so blatantly rude and disrespectful to your mother-in-law. Your mother-in-law for disregarding your wishes. I totally feel you on the speeches, and we didn't allow speeches at our wedding day either. But I also don't think being rude and disrespectful was necessary. I get being upset, angry, but you could have handled it a lot differently. Yeah, like talking to her after the fact. No one will remember the speech, but everyone will remember how you acted. Yes, see, that's a really good point. No one would have remembered the speech. If you had have just let her say the speech, everybody would have probably been falling asleep like I was at that wedding I went to, and nobody would have remembered what was actually said. But now everybody's going to remember how you humiliated your mother-in-law at your wedding. That's going to be something you're known for now. People will mention you in conversation and they'll go, oh, is she the one who humiliated her mother-in-law at the wedding? Yeah, that's her. Oh, God, yeah. Like, how embarrassing? You've embarrassed yourself more than you've embarrassed anybody else, to be honest. Petty Penny Pincher, I like that name, replied, no one will remember the speech, but everyone will remember how you acted. You just set the tone for your entire marriage. Good luck. P.S. As a married person, I can tell you, I can't remember one single speech from my wedding or who all made it. What I and everyone else remembers is the drama, particularly who caused the drama. Again, good luck. Yeah. See, this is the thing. You've embarrassed yourself, not anybody else. Your mother-in-law did step out of bounds, but I think what you did was worse and more embarrassing. I do feel sorry for your husband, to be honest, because now not only has he got a mother-in-law that steps out of her boundaries, but he's got a wife that also steps out of her boundaries, and it sounds to me like he's going to have a very hard time. But guys, let me know what you think in the comments, please. This one was a bit of a juicy one, and clearly, according to Reddit, one that we could potentially disagree on. So let me know your thoughts, please. I would love to talk to you about this one in the comments. What did you think of the posts we discussed today? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.